Good day. Much love to you and yours. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm going to talk about different types of energies. And yeah, we're just talking about different types of energies. Because, like, in order to realize why you use a certain type of energy, you got to be able to determine the difference between different energies. I'm hoping you guys can hear me pretty good. Let me see if I can. Maybe it's too far away. It's a little noisy. Much love to you and yours. Doing some life coach 369 stuff. Just talking about subtle energies. And this is also Siren Buddha medicine because we get to sound the alarm, to share the information, and to be wise about what we do with it, you know. And that's good medicine, to be able to talk about this kind of stuff that a lot of people don't usually talk about, are the different types of energies. So I'm an empath. One of the things that I am is an empath, not only an empath. I'm not just defined by that. And so um, one of the things that I'm really sensitive to are different energies. And there's a few things that I noticed that were really certain energies that are harder to clean out, like industrial. Have you ever been to an industrial park where they have all those man-made big, I don't know, they just look monstrous. They're humongous, you know, the size of like at least a 10-story building, you know, and there's all these freaking wires hanging out of it, maybe where they generate electricity or something, you know. I mean, just the feeling that I get from some of these structures that are made that are like power plants or factories and stuff like that, even long after these places leave and I walk through them, you can feel this like dirty energy. There's a dirty energy. So electronics have a dirty energy, but there's also a plus side to it as well, kind of like money, because it's energy and it's a current, kind of like the cell phone. You get a lot of blue light from it, and there's a lot of other things that are able to capitalize and on, you know, off of that blue light, and lead way to suggestion, which is counterproductive. But at the same time, being aware of that can also empower people to be productive about what they do with it. There's a lot of other things that we can do with it that kind of offset it, especially with that awareness, like learning, research. People could take classes online. People can see a therapist online. People could be diagnosed by a doctor online. You can get advice about a lot of different stuff by using your device, right? And we can also project so much of the things that are inside of us into the universe by using the same device that's throwing off other things, you know, that can be utilized for counterproductive stuff. So that's one energy. Is technology is an energy that is like, you know, I mean, and even the power plants and stuff, on one hand, we're grateful for the electricity and we can run our stoves and, you know, all these other things that we use with the technology. But on the other hand, when it comes to the way it leaves you feeling inside, and as far as connecting with the planet, it leaves me wanting. It leaves me thirsty. There are certain things that I do enjoy that are duplicated when it comes to energy, and one is sound. Sound, the vibration and frequencies of certain sounds are very important. Like Have you guys ever thought of the environments that people live in? You know, like living off a highway and hearing certain sounds. Like, this is a lovely area. I don't know if you can see it really well, but it's just so pretty out here, you know. And I don't know who, ooh, I don't know who and what. That's just a lovely tree. It's just nice to sit out here. And people take it for granted that this giant field is sitting here in the trees, and just listening to the sounds of the birds and the trees going back and forth. It just, that frequency is natural, you know, and it feels good. Good day. Thank you, the spirit of truth. Much love, everybody that joined the live. I'm grateful to have you here. You know, just kicking some Siren Buddha medicine, some Life Coach 369 frequency, you know, over the internet, just sharing some of the stuff that that I've learned in my journey about relaxing. And you know, one of the things starting out is being able to determine the different energies. You know, how do you know what to use if you're not familiar with the different types of energies, or if you haven't really been able to talk and discuss certain things? Because there was some of the stuff that I'm talking about wasn't even discussed. It was that hokey pokey, like, okay, did you ever walk through an industrial park and get the creepy feeling? Or yeah, what is that? Well, to me, my body interprets it as dirty energy, but my mind knows that that same energy is that it's producing is helping so many other people. But I also wish that we had the sense and the capacity to build things, keeping our ecosystem in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, build stuff with the purposes of, you know, the birds, you know, and elements, and, you know, a breathable building. I'm following one of the teachers that I follow. His name is Dan Winters, and he talks about fractal, you know, sacred geometry and cohesion, you know, and he talks about sacred geometry in a way that is practical. He uses these different designs and implements them to be able to, and this technology in a helpful way. Like, he made a water pump, and they've done things like make grids and stuff like that to help harmonize the area that you're in. And through all my research, how I ended up there is talking about some of the ancient ways and things that we did, and how the ley lines played a great part in who we were and how we connected to our higher selves, and how everything was just energized and it was different. You know, what we're looking at now is, let me finish my other thought. Okay, so they say that chemtrails, when chemtrails come down, or an environment is polluted and it's toxic, one of the ways that you can determine that, in my research, I learned, is there's little shoots at the bottom of the trees will pop up. It'll be like little branches and stuff. And that is the tree itself trying to save itself, because it has a vast, crazy root network. Trees are just freaking intelligent. Everything around us is alive, you know, which is what I was going to get to. One of my best things to plug into when you want to relax and to utilize to get your head together are the natural elements. They are the things that we're made of. On a fractal level, it just works. You're a lot more apt to work out using fire, water, earth, air, or ether in some kind of way to help. Not that there's anything else. I mean, with those things, all other things are made. But in their pure essence, like sitting in the fields, being able to ground, like, we miss the simple things with all this technology. And isn't it funny that getting back to the simple things is what'll help you get your mind and your body right. Like telling people who have high blood pressure that going out in the field and grounding and getting some sunlight, vitamin B, and drinking water and putting their feet in the ground will help lower their blood pressure. And how it's just it's a spiritual thing. It really is. It's a the thoughts that form in our heads. How people look at me really goofy when I come over here and put a blanket out and sit up underneath the tree, but they'll sit in the house all pent up in front of the TV. That rhymes. This just happened. And it's odd to me. It's odd to you. It gets odd to you after you plug into the things that make everything else. You know. So just being here, listening to the sounds of trees gives me a calming feeling, because on a fractal level, it's natural, and it appeals to my carbon. It appeals to the nature in me. This aspect of nature, the carbon aspect of nature. I like to listen to the birds that are off my patio. There's so many different birds and animals and stuff that be coming to me off the patio, and it's really cool. But one of the things that sucks is there's this plasma center that's near me, and you can hear that thing is so loud. You can hear the fan. You can hear that fan. When the fan, the birds and the life around it have gotten used to it, so it's not like they run or anything. And it's nice to have the environment, but man, those birds and the trees sound so much better without that fan making all that crazy noise. And even if you weren't thinking of the animal life around you, what about the people? What that does to have to listen to that noisy fan to my psyche over top of the beautiful birds and the sounds of these trees. So if you have a lot of traffic in your neighborhood, that's noise pollution, and it's more like it's static. It's not, white noise is on a scale is determined as something good. Like you could put on white noise. There's certain noises that are calming to people because they're on a certain frequency. They're non-threatening. And there's other noises that are just alarming, and they feel funny to our body. They really do affect our water. There is this doctor called Dr. Moto, and many years ago, Matimoto or Moto, and he did water research. You got to look up the water research. I've said this so many times. And so he did water research, and what he did was he stuck water and vials inside a freezer. And on the vials, he would, some of them he said words like "I love you," and just kind things like "You're beautiful" and "Have a nice day," let's say. And he took those and he taped it on the glass jars, and he put them in the freezer. And then on other jars, he put things like "I hate you," "I wish you would die," and he stuck it in the freezer. And the water molecules that had the negative language on them, when the water froze, the patterns inside it were a distortion crystal pattern that you can equate to things like cancer. Our body is over 70% water. So the sounds and things that we take in are very important to us. They say sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. And we know now that that's not true. Words can hurt. Words can affect your very molecular structure. Your environment and the sounds in it, and whether they're positive or counterproductive, can affect your very system. Okay, and that's why that's why being outside and being around things that are pure, like water, and running water and the sounds of water will help your health and help you relax. And those are different kinds of energies. Those are pure energies that you can always tap into. Fire, man, I love to look at some fire. Um, there are certain seeds that don't pop, like I think pine trees. There are certain kinds of pine trees that don't grow unless there's a fire, you know. And when I started hearing about fires and like forest fires and things like that, and I heard that every so many years that needs to happen for certain trees to sprout up and for new life to happen inside the landscape. And it gave me a different interpretation of some of the stuff that happens with with the foliage and certain times of the year when it gets hot, you know, and all of a sudden that there's a fire. But even watching fire is a very purging thing. You know, you can watch fire and just that energy alone will help you purge. Okay, so we did fire, water, and we did indirectly thoughts. Um, Not taking any, the reason why I'm not taking any things is because I don't know how to control the live yet. If I let you in, I don't know how to get you out. And y'all be acting crazy. And I'm just a little hesitant.